Officials of the federal government and members of the civil society organizations gather in Abuja to appraise Africa's democratic journey. The managing director of programs at the MacArthur Foundation sets the tone for the conversation.
Despite a legacy of democratic cultural experience, support for democracy as a form of governance has declined across the continent. More than half of Africans are willing to accept a military takeover if elected leaders abuse power for their own ends.
At the core of the conversations is a concern for what participants refer to as democratic recession on the continent.
Our belief is that there is a realistic need to reimagine democracy and what representation, inclusion, accountability, and participation looks like. Because we are seeing extremism, we are also seeing reversals of what we thought were democratic gains.
Notwithstanding the setbacks that democracy have experienced, Vice President Kashim Shettima, who is represented by his special advisor on political affairs, highlights some progress.
Amid this despair about democratic reversals, most especially in West Africa, we are encouraged by elections that have held successfully in countries such as Liberia, Kenya, Ghana, Uganda, Zimbabwe, Senegal, Nigeria, and South Africa.
Other participants underscored the need to mobilize resources to fund democratic processes in the region.
Democracy is worthy funding because it requires advocacy. We need to fund institutions. We need to build institutions. Most of the time, the democratic institutions in West Africa are weak, and so they can't stand up against strong leaders.
The African continent has recently witnessed some form of democratic recession, with military coup in some countries, including Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, Sudan, and Chad, a development that political analysts say poses a threat to democracy.